Here we go, another show, Michelin Stars of Columbus. Where we at, where we at, huh? Where we at, where we at? Here we go, another show, Michelin Stars of Columbus. Where we at, huh? Where we at, where we at? Welcome back to another episode of Michelin Stars of Columbus. I'm sitting here with a special guest. Hey, we're here at Bottoms Up. I'm sitting here with Chakeyla. We're going to get right into it right after this, you guys. Stay tuned. From the quality to the turnaround to the pricing to the discounts and all of the free items you get when you order with Chakeyla Design Studio, there's no reason to shop anywhere else. That's the only place I get my customized t-shirts from my company, for all of my artwork, holiday items. There's no other place that I'm rocking with. Make sure you guys go check them out. I'm rocking with it. Welcome back to another episode of Michelin Stars of Columbus. As I stated, I am sitting here with a special guest, you guys. Hey, we're here. It's Bottoms Up Coffee. We're going to dive into some details about Miss Chakeyla and how she got interested in doing what she does. All right, so we'll start it off right now. Give us a little background details of your personal life and how you got into the entrepreneurial realm.
Okay, we'll do. Well, I actually have a degree in mechanical engineering.
Oh, wow.
And then I have a master's in public health. So my career as a businesswoman has been working for corporations and helping them acquire other businesses or merger with others, or maybe go through different transactions. And that's pretty much how I started out my career. And I help companies review their risk profile when you are purchasing or after you've acquired. How do you integrate those businesses seamlessly so you can continue to grow and make money?
Gotcha.
Primarily working in environmental health and safety, understanding the environmental background and how to make sure your risk to your employees are low. So for the last, how many years, I'm going to date myself, for the
won't believe you. They won't believe you.
For the last 16 or 17 years, that's pretty much what I've been doing. I relocated to Ohio from Texas just about 18 months ago.
What?
Yeah.
Why did you come here?
Yeah.
Texas?
Well, I'm originally from Indiana,
Okay.
right? So I'm originally from Indiana, but I left as soon as I graduated college and took a role with a global company, and they moved me around the U.S. quite a bit, and then I worked primarily outside of the U.S. For over 10 years. So I finally ended up in Houston, Texas, and worked for oil and gas industries and primarily led global organizations. And then I got a call from a gentleman I used to work with at one of the oil and gas companies. He moved to Ohio from Texas and took on a pretty nice role in a local, or actually a national company. Asked me to come help him out. I came here reluctantly. I didn't want to come back to the Midwest. I said I was never coming back.
I would not come back.
I know, right?
I choose this Ohio. Yeah. You're in the center of terrible weather.
Well, you know what? The opportunity was great. I had just went through a divorce, and I have 3 children. I have twins that are 14, and I have a 7-year-old. And it was a really good time. It was really good timing. Great company. And then as I did the research for Columbus, I'm like, this is actually an amazing area. It's like the number 4 largest city for growth.
Yes.
And then it's got this huge tech central phase that you would never associate Columbus with.
Not at all, unless you know.
Yeah.
Unless you know about it.
And then I found out that a lot of companies start here. So because of the corporate tax rate, a lot of folks will come here and try out things like Wendy's, other organizations. And so you'll see, you see a lot of businesses that are here that might be down south or maybe out east. And so I thought that was really interesting too. So I'm like, maybe let's give it a try. So that's why I'm here.
Wow.
Yeah. And then while I was here, I do work a lot. The kids take a lot of time, and one of my goals was to start doing more things for me. And so I looked for an opportunity where I could just hone my skills outside of what I learned in the business world. And so I looked for a couple of businesses to buy, and this company was up for sale, and so I purchased it. And then it just went along with my values between the community service, my love for coffee, and then just having a place where I could just go and relax and be myself.
Got you. Well, that's a whole bunch of just success, just to start off. So you're coming from a corporate background. You've watched and helped manage other companies while they, acquire other companies or work with other companies, and then, you're starting off. Is this your first venture by yourself, like your own business? Or?
By myself.
Yes.
So my former spouse and I owned a catering business in Houston. It was primarily his, and I kind of did the back end work, just the business part of it, but he was the creative one.
Gotcha.
And so that was my first, first entry into a business outside of corporate world. But this is my first solo project.
Oh, wow. Nice. And a little bit about your background. Did this entrepreneurial spirit come from your family, like your mother, your parents, or how did you, first get the, that work habit? Was it something that was, taught in your household, or something you saw, or?
So my parents were both blue collar. Both my mom and my dad, they worked in the factories, and that was just what we had, and those were the best paying jobs, growing up. However, my aunt, which is my father's sister, I spent a lot of time with her, and she's in Atlanta. So every summer since I was 10, I would go spend my summers with her, and then it started to be different holidays. And she did very well. So that side of the family is from a little small town, if you want to call it town, in Kentucky, right? And so she left, went to college, worked for Ford for a little bit, but then moved to Atlanta, which we flourished there.
Indeed.
Right, so she went there and she killed it. So she does a lot of community service projects. She started off as a businesswoman as well in Bell South, and was the vice president of community affairs. But then she took her early retirement package, and that skill set that she honed there, she took with her and started 3 businesses. And so ever since I can remember, that's what she's done. So I've been fortunate enough to see what works, learn from her skills, and then the folks that she surrounds herself with were very successful Black business owners. I met my first Black millionaire when I was 12, right? And it was like, wow, we can do that, and we are doing that. And it wasn't without risk, but all of the knowledge that they had working in the corporate world, or maybe from people that they were exposed to, they used them and grew. And so that's really how I didn't put limitations up for myself. And any opportunity that came my way, whether I really knew how to do it or not, I took it and took the skill sets that I had and figured it out.
Yeah. Man, that's amazing, because a lot of people in our community, we're not exposed to that. Not too many of us are exposed to seeing that. We're stuck in our communities, and we only see what's down the street. We don't get to venture off. So that's amazing to know that you are able to not just be around those type of people, but to be inspired. It's kind of like how you hear sport athletes talk about when they meet their idol at a young age, and then from there they just become some of the greatest athletes. So to be able to have people like that to look up to is something special. And this show and other shows, as we were talking about, that's what I really do this for, to give other people inspiration that might not be able to meet you in person, whether they come here to your establishment or not. They will be able to look at your story and be able to draw some inspiration. So I want to say thank you for that. We talked about a little bit, you saw this as a good opportunity, and it aligned with your morals and your what you stood for. But why coffee?
Yeah. So everybody asked me that question. So my aunt, the same aunt, she introduced me to travel, right? And because of her, I've traveled all over the world and had no fear of doing so, right? So we went around, she taught me how to do it, what to look for, and I've traveled alone quite a bit as an adult, and there's no fear there. But when we traveled, one of the things we used to do is try different coffees, and and I felt like I felt like a grown person, right? Because she wouldn't treat me like a kid.
Gotcha.
So she would teach me different things, and we would try different beans, and then we would try different flavors, and so that just became a thing. When we went to the mall or went to a different city, that's what we would try. And I kind of forgot about that. And as I started thinking about why do I like coffee so much, and I love teas, and and then I remembered, between my exposure with her, and then also my father, when I was little, probably way too young to be drinking coffee, right? His favorite thing was to make his coffee and have a runny egg and toast. And I would sit on his lap, and his coffee would, this is tea by the way, but his coffee would be a little bit more caramel than that, but he would have half cream, half coffee. And he would let me drink it. And it was the best flavor ever. So I think I've just kind of always had this affinity. And then when I got older and started traveling, I was the leader of the South American businesses for several years for one of the companies. So I traveled to Brazil quite a bit, and Argentina and Chile, and I was exposed to coffee there, right? So I had some of the world's best coffees, there, and it just became a part of what I enjoyed. Never really quite thought about having a business until as I started looking, I'm like, oh wow, is this really what I want to do? And as I kind of played with different options, this kept coming up as you need to go do this, and I think that's what really helped decide that coffee was the option for me.
Word. Now it's always interesting to hear entrepreneurs, speak about their past life and then be like, I've been doing it all this time, and then the opportunity comes to you when you're ready, and then you're like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing, right? So it's always amazing to hear the stories. Like that's special. What if someone came here to get one item to get hooked, besides the quality of the beans and the quality of the product? What's something that is a must to order?
That's a good question. One of the things I really like about this spot is that it's craft coffee, so we can make pretty much what you want. One of the popular coffee drinks is called the Rainy Day, and it basically is our house coffee, and our house coffee is a blend of Guatemalan and Costa Rican. But what sets it apart is that we have this big, huge, fluffy cloud of cotton candy. Right? And it just rains. The heat from the coffee makes it rain down, so it's called Rainy Day. Oh. So we get a lot of folks coming in here asking for that, and they do their selfies and everything. So I think it's a fun drink. If we're looking for flavor and uniqueness, our lattes are really good. One of the things I pride ourselves on here is the availability of different flavoring. So we use a lot of floral syrups like rose and lavender. Then we have different levels of sweetness, and then we just have some unique drinks that we make up. And we'll test them out between all the baristas, and then we'll post them, and people may come in and ask for them. One of them that's kind of light but good is our honey cinnamon latte. So if you don't want anything super sweet and you want to stick to something pretty natural, that one is a really good latte. Yeah,
because I know a lot of people, some people, when I would say, from my experience of watching people, a lot of people like it just natural. Like they want the flavor and they want the strength of it.
Yes, you want to taste the coffee, right? Yeah. So and the beans that we use for the lattes are an espresso Milano bean from Ethiopia. Oh. And so Ethiopian beans are fabulous. I mean, they have that fruity undertone, but then also the roast I use is a pretty dark roast, and it's a really good blend. Yeah.
Wow. Now, did you acquire these beans, on your own, or is this a collaboration as far as, because as you stated, your past history with running the business was more of the back behind the scenes with the business part of it, and not so much the creative part. Now, are you 100% in the creative part here as well, and you went out and got the beans, you but you create the menu and...
Good questions. So one thing I learned from helping businesses grow is when you buy something, you don't change it immediately, right? So Normally, for the first 6 months, and this is just a rule of thumb for me, if I'm purchasing a business, whether for a corporation or for myself, I want to see it run for 6 months. I want to see what's working. I want to see what's not working. Where can I make some subtle changes? And I've had to do that already. You know, things that might not go along with where I really want to take the business. So let me make these changes here, but not enough that would shock the customers that are used to a certain vibe. And then not enough that would make it very difficult for the current baristas to be able to work, right? So first 6 months, that's where we are. But with the vision, the beans that we have, I'll answer that question, the beans that we have were the actual beans that were part of the process anyway. But recently, in mid-December, I went to Guatemala because I met someone through a family member here whose family owns a farm in Guatemala, and it's in the mountains. And beans that are kind of higher up have a different flavor. If I'm comparing like the beans in the valley versus the beans in the mountain, the beans in the valley may have a little more acidic taste to it or salty taste because you have runoff that goes down to the valley. But where their farm is, it's way up in the mountains, and it's separate from the volcanic area. So volcanic beans have a different flavor. This one is different. It's really good. So anyway, spent some time up in the family farm, and we roughed it, let me tell you. We roughed it, but it was well worth it. We were able to go out and pick the beans, and they're called cherries because they look like cherries. And if you've never seen that before, you know, that's shocking, right? You see coffee beans, and you're like, that's what it looks like. No, they look like cherries, and they're on trees, and you pick them off, and they're juicy. You open them up, it tastes like fruit. It tastes sweet. Yeah, very sweet. And so it goes through multiple processes before you actually get to the bean that you see. So anyway, we picked them and we went down to their processing area, and they showed us how they actually get from the cherry to the bean that you see in the store. And then we worked out a few things, and I'm hoping in the next couple months to bring you our own bean that is exclusively for us.
Oh, that is awesome.
Yeah.
That is
So
amazing.
excited about that. I'm really
That's
excited.
amazing. Oh man, that's so cool. Cause I know when I've studied other entrepreneurs, the one thing that really sets them apart from everyone else is having that one item or that one product that's only like exclusive to them.
Yeah.
So to have that is amazing, and the story of going there and learning the process, and man, that's amazing. Since you started the business, how has the community, reacted to you being here? I've seen the reviews, 4.7 strong with a lot of reviews on there. It's not just a couple reviews. The pictures, the comments, they all love the space. But in your own words, how has it been for you since you started?
It's been actually really welcoming, and I wasn't really sure how that was going to be, especially coming in and being a Black woman owning a business that wasn't owned, by a Black woman before.
Yeah, especially during these times.
Yeah, during these times. And frankly, in this area, I mean, we have a pretty good presence in Franklinton, but it's a nice mix, and you just never really know how people are going to react. But since purchasing it, and it's not hidden that we are a Black-owned business. That's actually, we celebrate it, right? Woman-owned and Black-owned. And so we've gotten a lot of positive feedback. We get a lot of new folks coming in and a lot of repeat people that love it. In fact, one of the folks that have been coming here for several years, he pulled me aside and said that he has not seen this many people coming through and enjoying this space in the entire time that he has actually been a customer here. And so he just, was giving me some good feedback that I wouldn't know, right? Except by looking at the numbers, I can tell the difference between the numbers from the past and now. But just to hear it from a long-time customer that things look really good to him, especially in the middle of a pandemic and with the changeover, that felt really good. So I think it's working out pretty well.
I'm not going to sit up here and tell you that I used to be bald and that this product magically brought my hairline and my hair back. It's not one of those commercials. This is a commercial for Lady K Growth Promote. Man, it works. It's all natural. It's done in-house, Black-owned company with a hair stylist that has more than 10 plus years under her belt. She takes it serious. And it definitely works, and it feels amazing. I can only imagine. So how does that make you feel? Like how does that make you feel?
So it's funny. I just took a leadership assessment, and one of the things that popped up is that I don't like to get accolades. So I don't like for people to say good job, because I feel like that's what you should be doing. So I'm always looking to say, okay, we got this down. Let's get to the next one. Let's go to that next level. So one of the things I'm trying to do is live in the moment and enjoy the small wins here, but there's so much to be done. Again, I haven't really did a lot. I've done a few tweaks here and there. I've got a fantastic staff, and I'm just kind of working through those next phases, but I'm happy with where we're going. I will say that.
Gotcha. I completely understand. That's exactly how I am. It's like when you have goals of where the business and where it can go and where it's going to go, you're focused on that so much. It's like, I gotta get there, I gotta get there, I gotta get there. So
you do have to sit back. You have to live in the small wins. Now, don't stay there long,
Not
right?
at all.
But you have to enjoy them, and that's an area I'm working on.
Indeed.
We all have those areas.
Indeed. All right. We talked a little bit about your past. We talked about the product itself. Talked a little bit about how you feel about the community, and the community how they feel about you. What's next for Bottoms Up Coffee?
Wow, good question. One thing I want to make sure we continue is the diaper donation piece. So we have folks that come in and will donate money or diapers, and then we in turn will take the money and go to the diaper donation foundation and buy them in bulk and give them back to the community. So we'll have people that come in daily and they all need emergency diapers for different sizes. We've got to keep that going, and I would love to see that expanded. I think not enough people know about it, and I really want to get the word out so folks know that we're an emergency diaper center. And so I want to also expand the community service projects. One of the things I've challenged my baristas with is to give me a charity or give me something that you feel dearly about, and then let's focus on that for a month and raise what we can for that and give it to the charity. So one of the community projects that's close to my heart is the Community Shelter Board. Just getting people off the streets. Homelessness is such a big deal, and with the rate of housing prices in Columbus, it's not something that's going to go away overnight. So that's something that we definitely are always working towards, helping the community in any way that we feel. So that would be an area we'll expand on. The other piece is looking at expanding our options for drinks. We're working on, and I wish I had it already, but I'm actively working on the liquor license so that we can sell spiked coffee. I think maybe being a little more active in the evenings, since we close at 3, and I want to expand our hours. That puts me outside of that 6-month window, and I can add something else to it that will bring in a newer crowd at different times. So that's something we're actively working on, and that's next. And then I've got some wonderful people around me that are all entrepreneurial, and so we're looking at how do we help each other out. Can I bring your product here and sell it? If you have a passion like being a comedian, can you bring your folks here, and can I help you host that? Also looking at other locations. Right now we've been here for a few years now, and it's time maybe to move to get another location and expand. So I want to be like George and Wheezy and get up to 7 locations like George Jefferson. But those are things when we're looking out, because you should always make your plans. Have your intermediate solutions. Have what am I doing by the end of the year, and then what's my 3 to 5 year plan. So those would be things that I would put in those different areas as I'm thinking forward in the vision, and making sure that what I'm doing now is setting me up to do that.
For sure. I mean, I definitely believe that everything that you stated will come to fruition for you, just based on your history, the enthusiasm, and how I feel from your words and the emotion that you're evoking with them about your company. And I definitely believe and can't wait to continue to look and come here because I gotta come back, get some. I gotta get a coffee beverage.
You do.
And you guys also had, I think I seen on there other food items. Or?
We do, yeah. So, that's a really good. I'm glad you put that segue in there. I don't cook it, but I can cook, but I don't cook it right here. We make sure that we work with local vendors. So we've got a local bakery that provides the muffins and cookies, and a lot of what we serve is vegan and vegetarian based. That's really what our customers want, and it's really when we look at where we're going, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
And so we offer that, and then we also have we work with another company local for. They may have donuts or sandwiches, and all the sandwiches are also vegetarian, or we've got a vegan option for sandwiches as well. And then I just signed a new partnership for empanadas. I think those are pretty cool because you can eat those, and everybody loves empanadas. And then there's different options for that. So we've got different vegetables. We've got a vegan, vegetarian, and then also chicken options for those as well. So those actually should be in this week, this weekend, actually tomorrow. So I'm excited about getting those out there and selling those. And then also we've partnered with a smaller company called Bell's Delights, and they're a Black-owned business, and they make brittle. So, and it's not like I don't know if you ever had peanut brittle, but back in the day, you could break your teeth on it, right? So when they introduced it to me, I was like, I don't know. I was like, I don't know if it's going to break my teeth. But they were like, no, try it. And it's the best brittle I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
And so it's not super hard. You can bite into it. They've got great flavor. They've dried fruit in it. Peanuts for certain ones, pecans and others, and it's just a great flavor. It's actually something that if you wanted to, you could take the brittle and you can put it in your coffee and let it melt into your coffee and give it a whole another flavor. Yeah, I love it.
Wow.
So they're called Bell's Delights, and they're really good.
Got you.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we go and we wrap things up, what's one piece of information that we can share with people that's going to be watching, whether they're entrepreneurs or whether they're just interested in, starting a business or starting, to be more specific, a coffee business? What's one key piece of information that we can share with them? Maybe it's something that you thought, something you wish you would have knew before you started, or something you just learned recently, or any key piece of information.
Wow, there's so much. I'll talk a little bit more about the subject matter piece. So if you decide to go with a coffee shop, I knew about it from a consumer angle. What I liked. I knew the beans from different countries and what flavors I would enjoy. But where my knowledge was lacking was in the actual process of it, right? And how you get to the coffee bean, and what's the different roasts, and what exactly does that mean, and and what's cupping? And cupping is similar to wine tasting. Can you taste the coffee and know where it came from and what it is? So those are things that you don't absolutely have to know, but it'd be good to know, because that would help you determine how far you want to expand your business. If I ever want to actually roast my own beans in-house and make that an experience, I need to understand that process. I need to understand what equipment works well, and how to do that and how to train my folks. So that is something that I picked up after I bought the business. And it's just kind of been one of those learning experiences while you're running the business. So just, you kind of think through, what do you actually want to do with it, and then make sure you're aligned with enough information to help you get there.
Right. I mean, I believe that's one of the best ways to go about doing anything in life, is to be knowledgeable about what it is you're doing. That way, as you stated, you can see where you're going to go with the business or with your life or in your choices that you make in it. So I definitely agree with that. Definitely be knowledgeable about what you're doing. Well, before we go, I just want to say thank you so much for this opportunity to be able to share your story with people that's going to be watching this, and myself as well. I know you don't like to get accolades and roses and things of that sort, but this is the part where I do give them. So I want to say thank you on behalf of myself, the company I'm building, people that will be watching this, building their own companies. and just living their life. The people that come in here, whether they get to meet you in person, I want to say thank you on behalf of them, the community that you're providing a good service, a good product and service to the people that you employ, and to our community as Blacks. I want to say thank you on behalf of everyone for. I'm not just watching you; everyone's watching, and it's definitely something we can get behind it and be motivated and inspired by. So I want to say thank you for this opportunity. Is there anything else you would like to share with the people?
Well, I want to thank you for the opportunity. So I'm throwing it right back at you. No, I appreciate that you reached out, and I think what you're doing is wonderful. I can't wait to watch you see you grow and be like, oh, I know him. You know? So I'm really excited about this. I'm glad when you look at the movement and what we're doing. We as a people, what we're really working on, this is amazing, right? We cannot stop. We got to keep moving and keep pushing, and we have to do that by helping each other out. So I thank you so much for reaching out. Anything else you need from me, please let me know.
I definitely will. And the same here. You have any events or any news coming up or ever, just let me know. You can send it to me. I'll put it up on the website. No questions asked. Just let me know anything that I can do to help out.
Yeah, we've got the comedy show coming up.
And the comedy show,
on the 23rd actually. So, and Cap City Comics is hosting it here, so that's actually pretty cool. I'll send that to you.
And please do. Please make sure you don't forget, because I will try to be here if I'm not busy. But definitely definitely spread the word out to the people that I know as well.
Thank you.
Before we go, you guys, I want you guys to know, please come in here and try this food, try the beverages as well, and meet this amazing person. And this has been another episode of Michelin Stars of Columbus, you guys. Stay tuned to the next episode, you guys. Peace out. Here we go, another show, Michelin Stars of Columbus. Where we at, huh? Where we at? Here we go, another show, Michelin Stars of Columbus. Where we at, huh? Where we at?